Hi everybody, I hope you guys are doing great today. These are going to be general messages for everyone, but I'm going to be first starting with astrology and then I'm going to be going right into your sign. Guys, the timestamp is below. If you don't want to listen to the astrology, no worries. I have the timestamp below and you could just jump right into the tarot. For those of you who want to hear what's going on in the sky, okay, let's get right into it. So this time period is going to be covering from the 10th to the 23rd. And I'm doing that because I have a very, very busy schedule, so I'm not going to be able to, do a separate reading for next week. But let's go right into the big stuff that's happening. Now, I know it's going to start on the 10th, and I ended the last reading on the 9th, but I really want to just mention again that this weekend, the full moon is happening in Leo on the 9th, and we're going to be feeling like an urgent, sudden, or overwhelming desire to express ourselves. We're going to be made aware of our needs, like our need to create, to express, and just very much get in touch with what we need in our romantic lives at this point. Something is exposed or illuminated, really pushing us to get in touch with those things in our personal lives that we may have been like neglecting or putting off up until now. So this is particularly spontaneous time. So this weekend, especially Sunday. So like some epiphanies, some come to Jesus moments. That's a forward-looking time, right? As this gets together with Mars and all the major bodies are direct. So there's a lot of energy that's very focused this weekend. So just make sure that we all communicate in a very loving way. This is a really nice energy. It's good. But remember, it's Leo. So you want to make sure that, and there's nothing wrong with Leo. I love my Leos. But when there's so much energy in this concentrated space, you want to make sure that what you're meaning to communicate in the name of constructive criticism doesn't come off as hurtful, when that's not at all what you intended to. And if you feel like you're getting that from somebody, just kind of like stop and drop for a second and say, okay, wait, did you mean to say that? Right? Because let's not forget what we have, with Mercury, Pisces, all this very foggy kind of energy going on, right? So you just want to make sure to double check. But this is a really, really beautiful energy, guys. Seriously beautiful. Really good. Okay, and the Mercury is going to be turning retrograde on the 16th. And that's going to be stagnant because it really doesn't go backwards. I think a lot of us know that, but it's for those, we're all at a different space in our journey here. So it's more like it kind of hangs out stagnant while we all move, right? So it's going to be stagnant until March 9th. So with Mercury retrograde in Pisces and then later Aquarius, this is a strong period for getting in touch with our ideals and what we believe to be the truest versions of ourselves. So we may be more able to tap into our inner muse, right, that I mentioned last time, and really come up with especially inventive ideas to push us forward in the best possible way. The thing is here, while Mercury is retrograde in Pisces from the 16th until March 4th, we can feel especially foggy, right, that I was just talking about, or unclear when it comes to facts and figures. So if you're doing anything that requires like calculations, negotiations, I know a lot of us are getting our taxes ready right now. Anything of that nature, if you're dealing with any sort of contract, any sort of deal, negotiation, go over it really carefully. It's not that you can't do it, just go over it really carefully, because then you may end up finding out later that it wasn't at all what you actually thought it was initially. That you thought the agreement or the deal or whatever it was looked a lot different. All right, so just go over it super carefully. Now, retrograde Mercury aligns with the Sun on the 25th, right? And I know it's a little past this point, but I just want to mention it, bringing and emphasizing light to our thoughts, because we're going to be feeling it a little bit before the 23rd. It's a great time for processing events and ideas, things that just have gone on, things that you have cooking in your mind, and for beginning to look at problems or issues from a new perspective and with a fresher and new understanding. Okay, now going back to the 20th, we have Jupiter forming in a sextile to Neptune. So we're able to check in with our needs for imagination and dreams or spirituality even, helping us moderate some of the more extreme expressions of Jupiter and Capricorn transit, right? Because remember, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, right? As you have Jupiter wants to just be like, let's go, and then we have Saturn in there Like, all right, we got to put in the hard work, So we're able to incorporate and manage our expectations and our faith and our dreams in this energy. It helps us to maintain a sense of balance and grounding, right? Like Saturn's going to help us stay grounded while we want to like float away with Jupiter. And we're going to be considering our morals, our spiritual values, and what we really want for ourselves as we push forward on our path. So it's a time for connecting with idealistic and just things that we believe are for our highest good and for the good of the other people who we care about in our life. We're going to be making connections with people who are different from us, learning from their perspectives, and really widening our experiences and broadening our minds at this point. So this could just be, meeting a couple of new friends, going someplace different, but you're going to find this idea of other that's going to be very active at that time. And then we have the new moon on the 23rd, energizing the sign of Pisces. This brings a fresh start to everything. It really does, guys. We're being shaken awake to the need for a new vision in our life, especially in the area of our spirituality, right? And like, what does that even mean, right? It's we're going to be feeling in the deepest way what's best for us, what our deepest desires are. Where have we been lying to ourselves? Because it's time to revitalize ourselves through experiences that require us to do things differently, through imagination, through compassion, in a different way than we've been doing things. And many of us are going to just be very cognizant in this, right? Really cognizant in putting certain things behind us in order to begin anew, whether it's that relationship, whether it's that job, whether it's making that final decision and just being okay with that, right? So this is really, really good. This new moon is particularly interesting to me since it does speak with Mars and Uranus. So it's like a really cool conversation going on here between these guys. And it's suggesting it's very forward focused and encouraging change, but is moving toward retrograde Mercury, which does suggest a look back. So that Mars is aligning with the South Node also indicates that we're seeing where, what, or who we've been over attached to, in this rear view mirror. And most of us will feel especially focused and determined to work through past issues so that we can move forward in the healthiest and the lightest way. So yeah, those are the big things that are going on in the sky, guys, through the 23rd. Now let's go pull the cards for your sign. Hi, Cancer. I hope you guys are doing great today. These are going to be general messages for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for February 10th to the 23rd. Of 2020, guys. Remember, if the messages don't fit, don't try to make them. It might just not be your message this time. And the energies can always be flip-flops. So if you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not me, that's my partner, or that's not me, that's my boss, then it's your message, okay? And you just apply the energy as you see fit. All right, so let's pull a Healing Yourself Oracle to get started, and then we'll pull the gift and the challenge. Remember, the gift and the challenge do not have to be connected to each other. They can be, but they don't have to be. And guys, what I'm going to be doing too is linking below for the love. You guys will probably figure that out if you go to look for the astrology with time. But I realize that, a lot of people just want the love. They don't even care about the general messages. So I'll link that as a separate as well, because we'll do that as a separate spread. All right, so for your crowning, we have victim consciousness, Cancer. So yeah, it's easy to think that life's unfair, right? And point fingers at others. Even the strongest constitution is victim to this sometimes, guys. So, it's a matter of recognizing this. If you hear yourself saying things like life isn't fair, bad things always happen to me, I'm not good enough, nobody cares about me, why me, I can't do what I want to do, stuff like that, then you're losing your power and you're nourishing your victim aspect and ascertaining your place in the victim club, which you really don't want to do. So your inner victim can stop you from really moving forward in a good way, right? By creating dramas and making you judge others and telling you that you don't deserve better and keeping you stuck in maybe even a financial rut if it has to do with a job. So you really need to build your inner confidence here and your self-worth and courage and get out of your comfort zone and really work on expanding and growing in all areas of your life. And the sky really does support us doing that inner work right now. It does. So, but now I do want to mention the light side of this, the good side of the victim archetype, is that victorious part that can end up really helping you to hold your power without getting angry and attacking others. And it can also help you to create healthy boundaries and really act and come from a place of honesty and integrity and compassion and love, which really is, in essence, the most authentic version of Cancer, right? Because it's who we are. But then when there's fear that jumps into all of that, then, then everything is different. Once we get scared, we're like running sideways and hiding and brooding and not wanting to deal with anybody. Yeah. All right. So let's pull for your gift. So we're gonna pull 4 placements for that. Your past, it could be last week or whatever's just still in your energy field, where you are now, the struggle within the gift and the outcome. And then we're gonna pull the challenge of the week separate. Okay. So just keep our altar for just the gift right now, okay? Nine of Swords energy is feeling a little 3 a.m. going on, 3 a.m. poking at you. Okay. All right, so coming into this energy, you guys are vibing some karma happening here. Something that you feel has been a fated turn of events in your life, fated circumstances, recognizing that you really did need to go through what it was that you went through in order to learn a certain lesson. And you're realizing now, even if it wasn't a lesson for you to learn, that maybe you needed to be the teacher for someone. So you're coming into this energy recognizing that there was something that happened in your life that absolutely was just kind of like this fated thing. And keeping in mind what we have is the crowning here. We have that victim consciousness with the 9 of Swords to cap it. And this is, I call this the 3 a.m. card. It's those intrusive thoughts that get into our mind that end up keeping us up, where we're going over and over in our mind what was said. How could I have done something differently? How could they have done this to me? Why did things have to go like this? That kind of thing, where there's anxiety. Depending on your situation, there could even be depression identified here. Okay. Now, representing you right now, we have the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. So the 9 of Pentacles is a Venus and Virgo energy. So Venus is all about love. It's a planet of love. It's also about the planet of money and self-worth and self-love and doing things that we really love in that way. And Virgo's ruled by Mercury. So it's about being able to communicate and bring to fruition these things that are in our heart space, right? It is the wish fulfillment card here. So I do feel like in the reverse, you're having a hard time identifying what it is that is ultimately going to speak to you in this space. You know that you're not in the, you haven't arrived at where you want to be yet, right? I mean, you're in this space of just not being able to identify what all of that means. Like if you're going to change jobs, you have an idea of what you want to do, but you're not totally sure. If it has to do with relationship, you're just not sure. You know that you're not getting what you need in whatever situation it is, but you're not even sure what that actually means for you. So that can end up creating some sense of anxiety for sure. Yeah. And then we have now the difficulty within this, though, is this Ace of Swords energy. So it's this ability to see how things can move forward differently on this next cycle, this next part of your path. And you're really having a hard time seeing that, but you're being pushed. See, this is where the gift, though, is, Cancer. You're being pushed to look at this. You're being pushed because the outcome energy here is the Ace of Cups reversed. And this is recognizing that whatever you're in right now, whatever stage you're in right now, it's not coming with you. It's not coming with you. You need to have a whole other set of circumstances to move forward in. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to get divorced. It can mean that. It doesn't mean you're going to quit your job. It can mean that. But you know that you need to create some sort of different circumstance surrounding you within your everyday in order for things to feel and be different for you. Because this is cups. This is an energetic, heart space. This is you needing to figure out how you're going to do things differently so that you really feel happy. and you feel like you're in that metaphorical home space, you know, because you're just not feeling it. You're not. You're recognizing that things have taken certain turns in your life, and you're just in the space of... See, the Nine of Pentacles is still, even in the reverse, guys, and even a lot of you guys still hate reversals, even though I'm trying to pull you onto my side to get you to see the value in them, because they're realistic, you know. So you might be in this space where even in the reverse, though, it's like here, the energy is here. You just need to do something different. You're an energetic being. You have the power to turn this right side up. You have the power to turn this right side up. Yeah. You have to do something different. So let's see. Let's see what we got. Yeah. You're in the Hangman position. Could have told you that. We have the shadow side dealing with the devil a little bit. Little devil. Eight of Cups. Yeah, I mean, this is what I was just saying. So you're in the Hangman energy, which has you super pensive. You're thinking about everything. I'm not mad at the Hangman energy. You just don't want to stay there too long. But, you know, because you don't want to be dealing with some analysis paralysis. But I like that you're not acting too flippant about anything, but you're dealing with where your imbalance is. So I like the devil here, because the devil energy, I don't think it's negative. It's just, it's not. The negative's not. I'm sorry, the devil is not. I mean, because it's like saying the sign of Capricorn is negative, and it's not negative at all. That's a beautiful sign. All right, but it's about putting in the hard work. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So the devil energy is all about, all right, here's a mirror. We need to look at life for a minute here. And where is the imbalance? Is it coming from you? Is it coming from the person or the situation that you're with? It's time to hold the mirror up and look at how things can be done in a way where, if you put the hard work in, that you're going to be able to get the blessing on the other side. Because wherever there's Saturn, which is here, there's fear. But wherever there's fear, through Saturn, there's a blessing on the other side of it. So the fears are real, but so are the blessings on the other side. So this is about you needing to actively look at the imbalances in your life, whether it's, are you struggling with an unbelievable amount of anxiety right now? Could it be depression? Could it be you're drinking too much, you're self-medicating, you substance abuse, you're shopping, you're spending all this money and you don't even have, or you know, any area of imbalance? Are you eating away your problems? Are you know, anything like that? Are you letting your home get really messy? Are you know, just not calling anybody back because you've spiraled? You know, identify the areas. It's going to be different for all of you, but it's this idea of identifying it and then saying goodbye to it. You got to walk away from it, because whatever you're leaving is toxic. It doesn't belong on your path. You understand? Because when you do this, then you have one of my favorite cards happening here. I love this energy. Eight of Swords, making it happen. I love it. It's Jupiter and Gemini. This is like information coming in quickly. Text message, email, phone call, some sort of message is coming in. That's benefic. It's a good message. And you're going to be moving something forward in your life in a really beautiful way that's going to end in a strong foundation. This is a very strong foundational card. These wands are going to like dive down into the earth from all the way up here, and they're going to go firm into the ground. And this is a really solid foundation. But there's an unsettling amount of change that happens like rather quickly. Some sort of message is going to be coming in where it's going to be making some very big changes on the trajectory of things moving forward, where you're going to be in this space where all of a sudden you're building things. You're building this next path. This is the architect energy. It's like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do it. It's about having the money that you need. This is about feeling supported. And this is about really building this next phase of your life. It's the beginning phase, but it's a solid one. Solid from the beginning, which is important, because you don't want to build a foundation on something that's got like Neptune written all over it or whatever. I mean, this is a Mars and Capricorn. This is like, yeah, the warrior planet meets Saturn. Like, let's do this. Let's do this next cycle. Yeah. Because I can't emphasize enough, I feel like you guys have to be willing to make the changes. And if you're not willing to really look at yourself in an honest way, I don't see this happening for you. And I'm not just saying that. I'm saying because we have this, these are very, to have these two major arcanas here, to have the hangman and then the devil. And you need to walk away. And I like that this is in the upright. It's not in the reverse. It's in the upright. So you're walking away. You're walking away. There's healing happening here in a big way. Absolutely. Yeah. So what you're feeling anxious about is pushing you to do this self-analysis. It's pushing you to figure out, why do I feel this level of imbalance, this anxiety? What's going on here? And it's through figuring that out, there's going to be a sense of release in you, and the block is going to open up. And that's really good. Yeah, because you're going to know, you know what? Let go of that victim consciousness in the negative and like embrace it in the positive. That light side, that victorious side about, you having the power. You having the power to not get angry. You having the power to not want to blame. You're taking ownership for your stuff. You take ownership, man. What a beautiful, it's difficult to do. It's so difficult to do. But fewer things in life are as liberating. It's the truth. Yeah. So what's the challenge going on this week? I feel like I need to cut. What challenge is happening for Cancer this week? New beginning. Okay, past, present. Yeah, so this is the thing. I always say the gift doesn't have to do with the challenge, but I am pretty sure this does for at least a healthy handful of you, because we have the Page of Wands here. Now this is the challenge. The challenge is starting this next cycle with that fire in your belly. Like in the most fundamental way, like, what are we going to do? I'm so excited. I want to push this forward. I need something different. I need this next cycle to just be happening. You're like, oh my God, I'm really scared. I'm not sure what that even means. It is a challenge for you because you're coming into this energy as the Queen of Wands in the reverse. And this is a Pisces and Aries energy. This is reverse though. So this is Neptune and Mars upside down fighting with each other. Like you think you know what you want, you dream and you don't know what you want. Oh no, I know I want that. No, you don't really want that. You want this. No, and you just not being able to see clearly. You thinking you know what you want, then you not being sure. Then you feeling scared and you feeling hesitant, so there's no movement forward. And there's some analysis paralysis going on here, and there's some confusion. And you know what it is? It's like the energy where you have so many things in your mind at one time that you want to do, but recognizing all of the things that are getting in, at least what you're perceiving to be getting in your way, at least in your mind. It doesn't matter whether it's reality or not, it's real to you. And then we have representing you right now, the Ten of Wands, so you recognizing there's some cycles done. It's done, Ten of Wands, Saturn and Sagittarius. So this is, Saturn in there saying, come on, Jupiter, we got work to do. We got to move it on, move it on. That's what's going on here. That's the conversation that's happening in this energy. So we got work to do. We got to move on, because what's been going on here has been too heavy. These wands have been placed upon me. Whether I put them on myself or somebody else put them on me, it doesn't matter. I just know that I'm at this precipice and I can't take it anymore and I have to put these guys down. This cycle needs to be done. This is done. I'm not doing this anymore, because I know that I'm not going to have that next cycle if the wands don't get put down. Now, the difficult part in all of this and just putting them down and walking away is the Knight of Pentacles reverse. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles reverse is a Leo and Virgo reverse. So this is about having a hard time communicating. First of all, I feel like your ego and your higher consciousness are having a really hard time communicating what it is that you actually really want. You think one minute you know what you want, and then you're really not sure. And it's just this idea of just not being entirely positive. Now, for others of you, this could simply be money just being a huge obstacle for you right now. Like you just don't have the money to make the changes that you want. For others of you, this could be somebody who is being incredibly unsupportive while you want to start this next cycle. So if this has to do with work, maybe your partner or your kids or your family or your close friends are being really unsupportive of you moving forward, even though you know you can't do what you've been doing anymore. So there's some reason why there, and that is kind of a thing, by the way, this month. I don't know if I mentioned this before, where it's like people putting on us what they think we should be, not really caring very much how we receive that or how we might feel about it on the other side. So that's the kind of energy I'm getting there. But that's something you're going to have to work through, because then we have the outcome energy. In order to, to really turn this into a blessing, we have the Six of Swords. You have to let it go. You have to let this go. This is Mercury in Aquarius. It's time to do something different. Uranus rules Aquarius. Uranus is all about doing something differently. Doing something differently. You got to communicate differently, connect differently. What you're in right now, what you're leaving, because you are leaving something, even if it's only like a cycle. And guys, this could just be a friendship. This could be a family connection. This could be even just be an outdated way of thinking. But there's something you're leaving behind that wasn't good for you. It's just not good for you, plain and simple. But the difficulty is going to be this moving away. It's going to be in that, but it's going to end up really nurturing and cultivating that gift. It's you embracing this idea. You know what? I'm not the victim of this. Even if I made bad choices, all right, I did. You do that. That's part of learning as a human. I mean, who wrote the book on how to do it the right way? There's no such thing. We do the best that we can in the moment that we're dealt with. And sometimes we find out that we should have made a different decision. Or sometimes we later realize, as horrible as it was, every step of it was necessary. You know what I mean? But this is you moving forward into a very healthy space. So I do like that, Cancer. I do. So let's get into the love aspect part of it. I'm going to pull 3 love oracles, 3 Island Time Wellness, and then I'll pull 3 good tarot and see what kind of messages we get coming out. Remember, this doesn't have to do anything to do with the other reads, okay? Okay. Let's pull all the cards and then we'll talk, okay? We'll talk. A lot of you guys have been assuming I come from New Jersey. Because, first of all, I like just the nicest group of people. Like, no lie, I'm not just saying that. Like, oh, I'm ever in Jersey, maybe we can hang out or whatever. That would be so fun. I would love to do like some sort of thing where I can meet you guys. Toying with the idea of starting to do lives. But I'm from New York. Next door, same thing. I don't read these in reversals. All right. So we have sacred union, honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. And then we have seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. Well, we're going to need some qualifiers on that. Something going on here. I do want to say too, with the seduction card, because I've had this come out in a lot of my readings, that I'm learning the energetic patterning of it too. Like, somebody could be after somebody you're interested in, or somebody that you're with, or someone is very interested in you. Like, they're in your energy field without you even knowing it, that they want to sort of have this level of interference, because I can't tell you how many clients I've had email me, post the reading saying, you're not going to believe this. Like, that's exactly what happened, where it was this person who was trying to move in, meanwhile you guys are like, happy as clams in a situation, but somebody is trying to interfere, and it's just like a thing you have to end up dealing with in that energy. So, I mean, I think that's helpful rather than like, you know, automatically assuming that something horrible is going on. Okay. All right, wait a minute. This was reversed. I don't want to turn that up right. Only because it's how it came out. Okay. All right, so yeah, we have that sacred union. Then we have the Six of Water in reverse. So there's a lot of nostalgia. There's a missing. All right, and this could also be somebody trying to reach out to the person that you're with online. Somebody who they were with at one point or another. Somebody trying to reach out to you. That was in your life once upon a time, that's trying to get back into things, and the energy here does suggest to leave them in the past. Leave them in the past. Yeah, this is not, it's not healthy. I mean, the Six of Cups in the upright is a healthy nostalgia and it's reconnection and all of that in a very healthy way, but in the reverse, it's looking at something through rose-colored glasses. So this person can be looking at, that third person can be looking at something through rose-colored glasses, remembering a relationship with you or a relationship with your partner if it's somebody else, a lot more positively than it actually was, and forgetting why it was in the past. This could also be an issue that's just being thrown into the mix of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to actually go and do, because seduction doesn't mean action, but this does tell me that there's some sort of like shady energy in here, either coming from you or coming from your partner. And I'm not even getting that it's like you guys doing the reaching out. I feel like somebody else is going to be trying to circle back around. And that's just an energy that's going to be a thing right now. And then we have, if you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. For the heart is the gateway to the soul. Then we have sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. So there's some sort of like shady behavior going on here. There really is. I'm sorry, I got to tell you what I'm getting here. You know, I'm not gonna dress it up to be something it's not. You know, I mean, if this is your reading, doesn't mean it's your reading, okay? But this is resonating with somebody, because we have Capricorn and Aquarius in the reverse. So this is Saturn and Uranus really like not having a meeting of the minds. Like Saturn's like, let's do things differently, woohoo, let's go. And Uranus is like, nope, not doing anything differently. I'm not doing anything differently. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But then here it says, if you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. Yeah. So I'm getting that there's this, because the air energy is swords, and swords in the reverse is either lying through omission, holding back the truth, holding back communication, you know. And I do have, like, I have a very internet-y vibe on this. Like somebody is like peeking in somebody's social media, you know, there's this stalking. If there are arguments, it ends up being like a gaslighting kind of thing where you guys are pointing fingers at each other, and there's this idea that everything that went wrong was your fault. No, it's your fault. But I hope that it's not the type of situation where an argument is being incited so that a person feels available to revisit somebody from the past. Because that could definitely be happening here, where even though you guys have a relationship that's meant to be, somebody's just acting a little ridiculous right now, where I feel like maybe somebody reached out from the past and there were arguments incited in order to feel okay with revisiting something. And then we have close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. And then we have the engagement ring. Engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. And then we have to clarify that we have Fortune's wheel. And the wheel is a Jupiter energy, guys. This is about luck and expansion. This is very benefic. I mean, honestly, I feel like I have two different readings here. So hold on. Hold on. Let's pull some energies on this seduction and Six of Water, because that makes a lot of sense to me, and I just need to see what the little dealio is with that. And then we'll pull for that second row. Okay. The Hermit reverse with this. Somebody's doing something and they're not talking about it. And then we have the Three of Swords. Yes. Oh, shoot. What the heck? All right. Okay. You know what? Let me pull these cards. I have... Yeah. So we have the Hermit energy, and the Hermit is the Virgo card, right? It's the Virgo energy. So the Hermit reverse is taking counsel within oneself and not telling anybody anything. This is like, I call this the shh, don't tell anybody. You're not telling anybody what you're thinking. Your partner is not telling somebody anything what they're thinking, or someone. So whoever you're dealing with, whoever you're here with on your heart. And then we have the Three of Swords. So this could be a couple of things, right? I mean, this is the card of pain. The Three of Swords does mean, you know, a number of things. It could be you identifying somebody as a drama king or a drama queen, you know, if it has to do with external to you. Because it certainly have to do with a feeling of betrayal, a third party. This could indicate you feeling like something is falling apart, right? But I get that there was some sort of betrayal that's going on, right? Some sort of betrayal. And even though, but I don't feel like there was a carrying through with it. I feel like it was still all in thought, and then there was conversation about it. And then we have the Empress, which is all about growth and expansion. So I feel like once it was laid out on the table and everything was talked about, you guys realized that you were able to grow together. And then we have Strength and the King of Pentacles. I mean, these are two very benefic energies. I mean, this is about this, you know, the sun, and then we have an Aries and Taurus energy. So this is all about, you know, Aries again is the baby of the zodiac, so it's about looking at things through with a fresh perspective and a lot of fire in your belly to move something forward, having to do with Pentacles, right? So when we're talking about relationship, we're talking about emotional, physical, and mental connection, you know. And what I like about the Strength card here after getting these cards is the Strength understands the threat of opening up, the threat of taking this chance, because she knows that this lion can turn around and snap her head off, but she's there anyway, and she's embracing it despite being, you know, in the face of something that could truly hurt her. There is this willingness to take this chance, okay? So I feel like this is a thing that some of you guys are going to have to go through. All right. But part of the conversation is going to be like, if we get into that part of the conversation with the partner, where like, well, what even motivated this? They might be saying this to you. You might be saying this to them. What is missing in the relationship that would motivate you to even entertain that line of thinking? Because if you're really happy with somebody, it doesn't matter who comes back from the past. You're not going to allow yourself to get seduced by for 1 second from them, you know, if you're really happy. So there's this conversation that's going to be happening and saying, listen, I didn't see us being fortunate enough to be able to move things forward in the way that I really wanted them to move in. And you know, I want to have this movement forward in my life. I'm ready to build. I'm ready to move. And I just didn't feel like it was going to happen with you. And I ended up getting into this space of feeling like very imprisoned because I felt like we weren't growing. And then I'm really, really not proud of what I did though. So this is somebody not feeling very proud. Judgment upright is, you know what, I felt like I acted with integrity. I did the right thing every step of the way. In reverse, not so much. So somebody's not feeling very proud of what they did, and we want the Judgment reverse because then we have the ability to have the Sun. And the Sun is about being on that right path in that heart space with the right person. And I do feel like that this is where you guys are going, but you have to have the conversation. The Five of Wands is about that difficult conversation. You know, it is. It's Saturn in Leo. Leo is about, you know, we have the ego going on. We want to matter. We want to know we matter. Saturn is just like putting in that hard work and really making your partner talk, and them making you talk about what happened here that made you feel less than. And this is really getting front and center with where you didn't feel valued, where they didn't feel valued. And all of this was absolutely necessary for you to get into this space. And of course, this is a metaphor, right? It doesn't mean that you're all going to run out and get engaged, but it's being in that space, right, of partnership, of complementing each other, of union, you know, and then ending up on Jupiter. Luck and expansion. Beautiful. You know, lots of blessings moving forward. But I feel like you're going to have to deal with something, with some sort of third party something. But then you're going to have the conversation about it and everything's going to work out great. Okay. And that is what I have for you, Cancer. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm going to see you guys not next week, but the following, okay? Because my schedule is just really crazy, and I'm going to visit my son at college, and we just have a lot of stuff going on our end. So wishing you guys well until then. I will try to sneak in maybe... I know a lot of you guys did request the separate video on houses and what they mean. So I might get started on them because it's kind of like a big project, because if I address every house with each of the signs, so I have to strategize the best way of handling that one for you guys to not fall asleep while listening to me. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.